So this segment, we're going to show some glimpses live of what we did as far as the MacroBIM team goes. And I'll start from the Onuma side. Um, this actually is live now. We're no longer in PowerPoint. We actually went to the VA, the publicly accessible VA data for facilities, and this was important for us from several points of view, because when we were looking at Lexington, um, there were discussions about how close is the next facility, and having this already accessible in a GIS map like this allowed us to kind of start having discussions, but also allowed us to show if this was at our fingertips and we actually had the Leestown division, for example, in a map like this, and we could actually scroll through and find the buildings, which you'll see next. We could actually get more accurate information about how much square footage, where is it located. And this, what you're seeing here, this is the Onuma system on the outside here. The map is actually coming from Google Map, or it could be any other GIS map. It doesn't matter. And each dot is a VA facility according to the database that's accessible online publicly right now. So that's one view of the data, kind of a map view of where are things. And when we go into Leestown, you can actually zoom in, and just using the publicly accessible mapping data from Google Earth in this case, you can actually see the site. And this is what we started with before we had any kind of site documents or CAD files or anything. We at least had this to start with, so we could start building. We saw the buildings, or we started building our existing buildings on top of this to go even to the kickoff meeting to start to be able to show what we could do with this. So you log in, you get online, and you can share with certain people. It's a user password secure type site, and you can actually get to your data like this. The next view, actually, maybe I'll start with just one building. This is one building now on a site. So the building looks like this. This is before any of the planning exercises start happening. We're just trying to show conceptually, if we get a PFD for a 100,000 square foot clinic, how do we place it on the map? And this is what we were describing earlier, that you can, this is the building here, you can actually grab it and move it and say, do we place? It's a very simple concept here. Is we have a 100,000 square foot building coming from a PFD. Do we place it here, or do we renovate an existing building? So if I export from this block, I can export it as an Excel file, which is very similar to SEPs. So if I say I want to export an Excel file of the building space attributes, it actually creates an Excel file on the fly. This is an important concept for us because we don't save any Excel files just as files, but we actually go back to the building and create the Excel file from that building, or start with a blank Excel file and import it in with all the spaces. So these are the spaces inside the building with other attributes. So the SEPs type attributes about floor finish and everything are in there. And it has the size of the space and the square footage, for example, and other attributes relating to that. So a simple Excel file, what Brent was also talking about earlier, it allows us to actually communicate with others that know nothing about BIM or MacroBIM. You can hand them an Excel file and say, are these all the spaces that we need, and how many square footage do we have? And this is kind of a PFD output.